Back now with the latest headlines on the coronavirus pandemic. Some football fans are fired up after the Big Ten Conference said it would not kick off this weekend as originally planned because of COVID. That's triggering a lawsuit from 8 players and their families at the University of Nebraska, saying the decision, quote, contends that its student athletes have no rights. President Trump is getting involved, calling the decision disgraceful and saying, I want Big Ten and all other football back now. The COVID headline, the backdrop to another. New this morning, 881,000 jobless claims made in the final week of August. That's actually the lowest weekly total since the pandemic started. The monthly jobs report will be released tomorrow. We'll have the latest on this show. And an urgent warning going into Labor Day over concerns of an end-of-summer spike of new coronavirus cases. Dr. Fauci is urging Americans, please don't be careless just because it is a holiday. Lots of moving pieces there. And on the sports front, Iowa State is taking a bit of a different strategy. It's a member of the Big 12, and it says its opener will be played to an empty stadium and not the 25,000 fans they were originally planning for. That's after the state of Iowa saw an 81% increase in COVID cases. And Ames, home to Iowa State, saw one of the highest 7-day average rates in the entire country. One student who is in a mandatory quarantine now is demanding the university send students home, suspend in-person classes, and help provide resources for the city of Ames. Joining me now is that student, Mason Zastrow, live from, I think, your dorm room, Mason, right? Thanks for being here this morning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm in my apartment, yep.
Your apartment, got it. You wrote this open letter that has now since gone viral. Headline, Iowa State is on the brink of disaster. Explain why that is.
Well, Iowa State, we're in the city of Ames in Story County, Iowa, and Ames, the Ames metropolitan area, as of I think this Sunday, was first, according to the New York Times, in both cases per capita in the past 2 weeks and acceleration of cases that we're seeing. And since the university isn't completely insulated, since there are people on campus who are interacting with the community, I think we are at a huge, huge risk of being in a very bad place soon.
Do you feel like those concerns of yours are being heard by school administrators, by your peers?
I think so. I'm a member of student government, and I introduced a bill which is going to be seen next Wednesday, which would basically say that students in general think that we need to do these 3 things: moving classes online, moving students out of Ames, and devoting resources to the city. And President of Iowa State, Wendy Winterstein, is going to be at that meeting. So I think that she's really open to hearing from students, from getting that input, and the decision to take the 25,000 people who are going to be at the first football game away, I think that's a sign that they're listening as well.
I wonder what your fellow students, what your classmates think of this, Mason. I'm wondering, this letter has gotten a lot of attention. Has it made you a popular guy on campus? Do people think that you're sort of in the wrong on this? What's your sense from your peers?
Well, I'm not doing too much on campus right now since I'm locked up here, but I have gotten a lot of feedback. Probably about 70% of it has been in agreement with me, and the rest of it has been in disagreement in some capacity. For the most part, people tend to think that we do need to move online. The one big exception to that is Iowa State's biggest college is the College of Engineering, which has a lot of hands-on work. And if we did move classes completely online, that's running a big risk of people not being able to complete the labs that they need for future semesters, and it could move back people's graduation dates.
Why do you feel such a sense of personal responsibility about this, Mason?
I really like Iowa State. I'm a junior here. I've been going here for a few years, and it's a fantastic place with fantastic people. The community of Ames is one that's really tight-knit. The university and the city have a really great relationship, and I would just hate to see this place destroyed, to see the people here get sick, and I think that we need to take action today so that we don't look backwards and say, what could we have done?
Can you tell us, before I let you go, a little bit about your life in quarantine? So you were in a mandatory quarantine. As we've talked about, Iowa State has not announced for virtual or remote classes yet. What's your day-to-day like?
A lot of walking around my living room. That's the most of it. Of course, some of my classes were already online. About half of mine were, and then my other 3 classes that I'm taking had an online component, and it's not completely supplemental, but it tries to be. So that's what I've been doing, trying to keep up with my classes, trying to enjoy my time in lockdown. But
and staying away from those college parties, I know. Mason Zastro, I really appreciate you joining us after that with the matter of yours.